Hello, and welcome to another Monday with Marie. So this Monday, we're going to be talking about leadership. We've got some great questions. So let me pull up those questions. All right, let's go to the very first question, which is, it is from Ford, and Ford is from Griffin, Georgia. One of my besties is from Griffin, Georgia, so this is kind of cool. How do we build teams that solve problems instead of escalating them? Oh, awesome question, Ford. All right, so really what we're talking about is that instead of rewarding, tell the boss, you need to escalate the situation, so to speak, into rewarding curiosity, experimentation, and creative solutions, building problem solvers, not permission seekers. One of the best ways of doing that is one, normalizing healthy dissent. You want to facilitate introspective debriefs where the team analyzes failures as data points and not a blame game. You want to create mini skill labs where there's low stakes workshops where people build the skills like root cause analysis, decision-making trees, what if scenarios to build trust. And you need to have a team that has a system for problem solving and bringing you that information. So one of the things that I used to do with my teams is that I would say to them, I want you to bring not just the problem, but also some solutions and some options. And how I would do it is that I taught them a system that I actually called Prime, which is really funny, but it was about pinpointing the problem. So having a clear definition of what's really happening. It was about reflecting on the impact that this problem has on others or on the environment or on the clients. It's about imagining possibilities. So coming up with 1 to 3 potential solutions to the problem. And it's okay if it's wild, if it's okay if it's simple and basic, it's okay if it's in between, but the goal is to come up with some solutions and then recommend. Make a recommendation to your leader, to the team of what you think we should do. And then you engage in healthy exchange of ideas and conversations. And then you make a decision. And there you go, moving on. So it is a way of making sure that people actually start to take ownership and they're not seeking permission. But you also have to have an environment where it's safe to do that. And that's the other thing, Ford, is that a lot of times leaders will say, well, I want people who come to me to solve problems and not just, have me solve the problem. But are you creating an environment where it's safe for someone to make a decision to solve the problem? Is there repercussion of some kind if that person solves the problem? That's something to consider, because if they're not in a safe environment where problem solving is okay to do, and it's not set up in reality that I have to get the permission of the leader, the boss, the manager, and then you're never going to have problem solvers. You're always going to have permission seekers because your culture requires people to seek permission. It's not safe. People's jobs are in jeopardy if they make a choice that goes against what you wanted and you're not having a healthy conversation about it. Ford, so I hope that helps. And hello to all the Griffin, Georgia people out there. Our next question is Adam. And Adam says, how do we develop leaders who don't just manage, but actually elevate team performance? Great question, Adam. Well, you need to first shift from an output to an uplift culture, meaning as a manager, your goal is to not just focus on the task. The task is important and we do need to focus on it. So remember I said, not just focus on the task, but ask yourself the question, how can I remove the barriers in the workplace for the people to be able to thrive? For my group to be able to thrive, what are the barriers that I as a leader need to remove? As a leader, your job is to facilitate, and we forget that sometimes. It is not just about owning the decisions, every single decision. It's about facilitating the outcomes, understanding that the goal is to elevate. And elevate is not just about KPIs, but how your people on your team are developing new skills quarterly. that should be included in your KPIs. So we look at KPIs as really strong measurements for progress and for profit. But one of the places that you're leaking money as a business is that you are not including in your key performance indicators, that's what KPIs are, how many people on your team are developing new skills each quarter? How am I making sure that learning is happening in my workplace? So I want you to think about elevating means building a team that doesn't need you in the room to perform. That's the goal. Adam, I hope that's helpful. Great question. And with that, I'll say we only had time for 2 questions, but thank you for these wonderful questions. We've got some more. We'll do them next week. Have a great rest of the week. And remember, if it's Monday, you're grabbing a cup of coffee and you're sitting down talking to me. Have a